Hello again, guys. I'm back with some more facts, right? Um, Somebody referred me to someone by the name of Corey Good, right? That supposedly he had a experience when he was the age of 6, working for the government program. It's a secret government program or something for 10 years. He was in lab program. Then supposedly after that, he was part of another program called the 20 and Back. It was a secret space program. Now, I would like to say, here we go again, guys. Here we go again, where you got these people making these claims, yet do not present any form of evidence to back up their claims. Again, I don't know 100% much about this story, but I will look into it, for just to look into it even further. But at the same time, I'm thinking, wow, you're part of the secret program of the government, and of course, people who are into the UFO alien phenomenon, such as myself and you guys out there, you're gonna quickly approach this story as something to be real, right? Simply because, of course, that's what we want. We're seekers, so we want to know whether it was real or not. Now, I know I'm no one to say that it was not real. I know that, and I understand that. But at the same time, again, think about this, guys. How can he prove that the incident that occurred was real? How can he prove it? How can he prove that he was part of a government program? That's just my opinion. You don't have to believe me. But, that's something that I will approach in that manner, because I will say, okay, what's the proof that he have? Something about some aliens, the blue aliens, blue Vadians, whatever the hell their name was. But I don't know, guys. We're going to be approaching a lot of stories where people are going to make these such claims and, of course, have no backup. So I just figured I'd mention the name. Again, I don't know 100% everything about this story. But, again, me personally thinking about it, I'm like, wait, if the government... Do you really think that the government would allow you to break the protocol, of a secret program that you had, right? And they had. You think that they would allow you to do that? In other words, what I'm saying is, once he did that, he broke protocol, so that means he would be arrested because he's revealing something that he shouldn't be revealing. Right? Or... once again, I noticed that a lot of these contactees or supposed, these guys with these claims, you notice it's always about, they try to say that the government, because of course, you guys out there are going to believe it, because of course, we believe that the government is not forthcoming with us. They're not up front and telling us real things that we need to know about what's happening around our planet, right? Or outside of this planet. Because, of course, some of us believe that that's the case. Now, I'm not going to be an extremist by saying, everything's a conspiracy theorist, because it's not. But I do question certain things because we need to know, what's really happening. So far, I've noticed that we just got people making claims, but they have no evidence backing up their claims. That's the whole thing that I don't understand. It's always about buy my book. That's all they say. Buy my book. Hey, I'll be this over here so you guys can come to my lecture and I'll tell you a bunch of stuff that you probably already know, right? I don't know, guys. It's just like I said, man, all these stories, some of these stories may be true. You guys heard me say it before. It may be true. But at the same time, when you are approached with these stories, right? Why not question it? So that's why I said to you guys, when you ask the right question, which would be, okay, show me proof, that's the wrong question, because that's what they're going to say. They're going to call you a skeptic, a closed-minded person that you don't want to hear nothing, right? But then, if you ask the wrong questions, which of course is you keep asking them questions about their experience and all that, you're fine with them, because now you're not questioning them about facts. So they're going to be like, oh, okay, cool, you know? I don't know, guys, you know. Again, in my personal opinion, when it comes to these stories, okay, some of them may be believable and some of them just seem far-fetched, okay? But I refuse to accept the story as fact without no solid evidence. I don't want to hear that you got witnesses. I don't want to hear that, you know, guy of a, you know, a psychiatrist with a bunch of majors, and who cares? What I want to see is proof. That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear you talk about your book, because I could care less. I don't care about your book. Okay? I care about your facts, your solid evidence of who you're claiming to be, or the stuff that you're claiming is happening to you. But of course, we're talking about alien and UFO stuff, right? Okay. Couple things I want to say. I know there's a story called the, well, of course, I would say the Travis Walton case, the 1975, was an abduction case, of course. I mean, it's kind of funny because even though that I know about this story a lot more than, you know, other stories that I'm about to present to you, it's like saying, right, although it seemed believable, I think I already said in one of my videos that it makes you think, though, because you're like, okay, Travis Walton was abducted, right? But where are the other guys? Okay, there were other guys on this in this case with Travis Walton. No, but then again, when we start asking the right questions, we're doubters. Well, we ask the wrong questions, then you're fine, because you're not questioning them about facts, about solid evidence. Yes, of course, we know that it was Travis Walton who was the one abducted, right? The other guys weren't. They just said that they saw a beam of light and he went up and that's it, and there you go. Just another ride, guys. Another story that happened 10 years after that one was the Whitley Strieber story. Another abduction case. I don't know. For me, it sounds like a bunch of copycats that, you know, borrowed bits and pieces of stories of the past and included it in their own stories. That's why you see these people write books, right? I know. Some of you out there are going to say, oh, how dare you? You know, you're wrong. You can't be doing stuff like this. Why can't I? I can do what I like, right? Just like you guys can do what you like. And this is why I like this platform, the YouTube platform, because it allows me to speak my mind with those of you who are like-minded, like myself, okay? I'm not just going to accept these stories based on these people's experiences, so-called, right? I got to see facts. I got to see facts. Just because Whitley Strieber was mentioning something about him having an abduction, that doesn't necessarily mean it was real. I mean, isn't the guy a book writer? Right? So a lot of these peoples can fool you with the way that they present themselves. All right, another story that I'll be looking into also. I actually missed one. It's called the Rendlesham Forest in 1980. Supposedly, two officers or something saw a spaceship and they went to it, and oh God, who knows? I think it was out in a different country or something, and they touched. One of them touched the vehicle, right? The space vehicle. So what, right? Somewhat. And he supposedly saw flashes of a whole bunch of zeros and ones, I think, right? Could that be real? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Remember, once again, all throughout this planet, there are people that go forward with these agendas to fool people. And that's what they're doing. In all these countries in this planet, okay? It's not just in America where we're at. It's in every country. There's a bunch of tricksters out there. And they don't care about those of us who are questioning them about their stories. You know why? Because they're making money regardless whether we are asking them for proof or not. Right? Because they can easily fool people by writing these little books, filling their pockets up. And they ride into the sunset having money, knowing that they fool a bunch of you. That's the thing with these people, Yes, I am open-minded. But again, I refuse to accept a story by anyone, okay, that had a so-called experience and present no facts to back up their claim. That's all I'm saying. How is it hard for anyone out there to understand that we can question these people? Why am I wrong for questioning these people? Just because they had these so-called experiences and I didn't? Listen, if someone out there had those experiences, yes, I would respect them, of course. But I want to see facts. Show me facts that these events are real. I don't want you telling me that you got hypnotized by some psychologist and, he got some big, great degrees and, and you're going to use that as a scapegoat because then you're going to say, oh, well, this psychologist helped me out. He's my proof because it was in my, he gave me a hypnotic session and it came out, right? Yeah. I don't believe it in that manner. Sorry. For me, it has to be something directly, it's directly in front of me where I can see that you're speaking and you're presenting your facts. How can they prove of their incident without solid evidence? Simple. It's not real story. That's all. That's simple and plain. It's not a real story, guys. Now, I probably sound like I'm a person who's quite harsh, but I'm not. Again, I already told many of you, if you heard me before, I don't doubt anything about whether we are alone in the universe. I believe we're not alone in the universe. So for all those of you who are new to my page, as you can see, you're hearing me say it, that I am not a die-hard skeptic. I'm a skeptic to a degree where if there are people out there that are making claims of being a contactee to aliens, right, with a being not from this planet, an advanced being, right? Or they've been abducted, or they're hybrids, right? I want to see solid evidence. Prove it to us. Prove it to those of us who are seeking the truth. Don't tell us that it happened to you, but then you're telling me to buy your book so I could get the full extent of your whole story. No, I don't think so. That's not the way it works. The way it works is, if that really happened to you, you should present fact so that nobody can doubt your story. Now, if your story happens to be fictional, maybe you should tell the people the truth and just tell them that your story is based on a fictional story so that they know that. Don't go telling them it was a true story when it wasn't. That's the thing about these people these days. They try to make claim that certain experiences are based on real experiences that they had, but they don't show you no solid evidence. Another case, supposedly, it's called the Linder Quartile. I'm sure a lot of you are more familiar than me, of course. It's a 1989 abduction case. Another thing I'll be looking into, guys. I will be looking into these stories. Again, it's because even though, again, a lot of these stories seem believable, in my opinion, if you don't have facts, there's no way I'm going to believe that story at all. And I know many of you out there saying, okay, what type of facts should they show you so that I can believe what they're saying is true, right? Simple. Show us some type of proof, solid evidence. Show us something. Show us something that has something to do with an extraterrestrial, like a technology that we don't obviously have on Earth. Show us, like, let's say, markings that you have on your body, which would validate, that that's something not done here on Earth. Things like that, of that nature. Now, yes, I understand there's those that's claiming that, supposedly these chips are being implanted in their bodies when they're abducted. And again, my thing is this, right? Whether the story is true or not, I'm going to stay firm to what I'm saying. If they don't present facts, I'm not going to believe those stories. I'm not. So, yeah, I know they're still gonna go forward promoting their story regardless whether I like it or not. And again, I'm not expecting anyone who are looking in my video to believe me. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to. I'm not saying agree with me either. I'm not saying agree with me. I'm just saying be open-minded to these individuals that making these claims, and yet they prevent no evidence whatsoever. But yet their experiences are real, right? I don't know, man. It's just it's quite irritating, when you get to investigate these stories and then you be like, my God, but that's all you see is these people making these claims, but they don't show you anything. They don't show you anything. They pretend like showing sketches and, oh, well, I was under a hypnotic session and that helped me out. Please. That's not something we really care about, okay? We care about facts. We care about solid evidence to confirm that your experience was real. So now if I'm a bad guy just for saying that, then moted be. Right? I'm definitely going to be looking into these stories right here because, again, some of them sound believable. Which, of course, didn't the others do too? George Adamski, when he came forward with his story in the 50s, didn't everyone believe him? Of course they did. He was the most famous of all contactees at that point, right? But yet what happened to him? He was a hoax all along. He was a hoaxer. But do people still believe his story to this very day? Of course they do. Of course they do. People still believe simply because they want to believe of all these stories were real. Even though they never saw any facts. Even though they never saw solid evidence to provide, but whatever. Whatever. You got a man in George Adamski at the time. I'm just generalizing here just to show you guys what I'm talking about for those of you who, just don't get what I'm saying. George Adamski comes forward with a story, says he's seen Venus, says he, did this, did that. Met a guy by the name of Orthon who looks human with long blonde hair. He's from Venus, right? But yet, the only proof that he comes forth with is by showing you a sketch. And then, of course, he supposedly shows you some markings that he had on his belly, right? Something like that. Oh, God. I don't understand these people. It's just like, oh, no. The alien won't come forth because, he says you guys are going to be hostile or you're not spiritually in tune. It's an excuse. Every single time, it's a little excuse that they give you. It's always going to be an excuse. All right? Just like the Howard Menger story, the same thing I can say about that. If you notice, the only reason Howard Menger was able to do what he did was because he had help by his father, of course, and his brother. And others. Because remember, as I mentioned when I spoke about the story, he definitely was fooling people. And then he would use his neighbors as witnesses and saying, oh yeah, you see, just ask my neighbors. They saw. Yeah, but they were all in on it. They were all in on it. If his first wife was all in on it too. Did people question Howard Menger back in those times in the 1950s? Of course they did. Of course they did. That's why I said to you guys that you guys need to investigate, and you will see that there were organizations back then, as they are today, that look into these stories, well, very, very deeply, and they question those stories. And that's why I respect those organizations, because they are the ones that disprove a lot of those people out there. Look at Frank Ernest Strangers, right? Here you had a preacher or whatever minister, right? Who everyone thought was the goody guy. But indeed, he was just a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's all he was. Because he came forth with a story that he couldn't provide any solid evidence. But then it comes out, because of course I got firsthand knowledge, that he was the man sitting at Howard Menger's place, right, at High Bridge, New Jersey, in 1956. Or we can say 1957 if you want, but you already know why I say 1956. But anyways, he was passing a picture of himself, but then saying that that's a Venusian called a Valiant Thor. See? All he was doing was borrowing from those guys of his time frame, such as Howard Menger, George Adamski. He was borrowing bits and pieces of those stories, if you guys realized it. Okay? And he merged it into his own. And then, years later, such as today, people keep thinking that Howard Menger was talking about a guy named Valiant Thor, which he was never. There was no such thing. But of course, there's people out there, despite me revealing that Frank Ernest Strangers, okay, was the man all along, known as Valiant Thor. You know, thanks be to his first wife, because, you know, I would say that if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have really known that that's Frank. Well, yeah, I would have actually known, because it's not that hard to see that we all were young at one point in time, right? But anyways, enough about that. I don't want to really backtrack and keep talking about those stories. I was just generalizing to you guys how these people were able, even though they were well educated, okay, and they were well known to be good going folks, right? That's how all of them were presented, but yet they were all deceivers. They were all deceivers. And I still believe to this very day, right now, there still are those out there that are still deceiving us. Yeah, they want you to read their books. You know, so that's the first thing they'll say. Hey, read my book when they're in an interview. Hey, sure, you guys can buy my book at eBay or buy my book over here and, you know, you'll be fine. Because that's all it is for them. It's all about us buying their books. You know, making those big pockets for them. So their little thin pockets, it just grows and grows and grows. And then they do these little bank accounts. And then they ride into the sunset with all that money they got from their lie story, right? Their bullcrap story. But yet, those of us who question these stories, we're wrong. I don't think we're wrong at all. I think that it's good to have people like myself and those of you with like minds out there that question these stories. We need to. We need to. Now, like I said, if I had an experience like those claims of the past, a contactee with aliens or human-looking aliens not from Earth, do you guys think that I would not be here telling you that? But of course I would. But of course I would. But again, it wouldn't be about me just telling you on this platform. It would be me showing you to meet me and meet them in person so you can see them do either go through walls or speak to you mentally, right, telepathically, or whatever it is that they supposedly do, right? No, but instead, I would just say, oh no, I need you guys to just read my book. Read my book. Go buy my book and maybe you'll hear more of that information. Not. Because that's not something that I would rather do. I'd rather you guys hear me talk about it here. Okay? And whether you like or dislike, you still gonna at least get in your head and be like, wow, this guy was right, you know? Why is it that, why is it that these people come forth and they don't show no evidence? Some people claim to show evidence. Remember? Phil Snyder, he claimed to have evidence, right? Remember that? For those of you who are familiar with the story, because of course I covered some of it when I kept talking about the Valiant Thor story. Okay? So you see that he was supposedly having some artifacts, but yet he doesn't let you handle them. Now, that's the thing I didn't understand. If you supposedly had, technology that is not from this earth, why did not demonstrate any of those items? Like, show some demonstration so we can see that those items are not from this planet. But of course, it's all about how I call that the power of suggestion. These people are using those easy methods, guys. That's what they do. They use these methods, and then those of us fall for it. Like I said, in 2000, let me see, 2000, I think it was 2013 or 12. All right. When I heard about the Valiant Thor story, right? The Frank Ernest Strange's Valiant Thor story. That's when I was looking at it, and I kind of believed it. I was like, wow, that's quite believable. But you'd see, that's where it all begins, where you believe it. And then you start questioning, okay, what if this and that? And how come he didn't provide, any modern time photographs of the individual that he claims does not ages? Same thing with Phil Snyder, that he got a different guy, Valiant Thor, and once again, you see? And then there was slight contradictions, of course. I mean, I don't mean to go back into those stories because I already covered them and I already exposed what I needed to expose. But I'm generalizing here so we can all gain an understanding together of what is it that I'm trying to say here. And obviously, you guys are getting it by now, right? Is that we have to question these stories. We're not wrong if we ask these people that make the claims for facts, solid evidence. And that's it. Do you think that a psychic is going to tell you that they're cold readers? Of course not. They're not going to tell you that. But then those top-notch psychics out there, you guys know who they are. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to advertise their names here, because I don't feel that they need that. But you guys know who I'm talking about. They claim to speak to the dead. Yet, of course, when you see certain things of them, right, you'll notice that they made countless mistakes. One being that, why would a dead person be not able to speak directly in terms of real name and stuff like that? It doesn't make sense. They're always talking about, oh no, R with the L or the S or M, or come on, really? It's just like magicians. Like I said, it's like magicians when they use people in the background, and of course, we think that the magic is real, that they're performing because they're entertainers. That's all they are, entertainers. And these people in the UFO alien field, I would say a large majority of them are entertainers. They spew out a bunch of nothing. Things that we already heard over and over and over and over. Don't you guys get tired of it? How many times do we got to hear that same person say the same thing throughout the same years, and then all he or she keep talking about is their next book that just got, and they say to go cop their book because they got a new book coming out, right? Go to their next lecture because they're going to charge you an arm and leg just for another lecture, right? Just to tell you something that you already know about. But here I am, revealing these stories for what they truly are. Oh, but people are going to say I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy because I chose to question these stories. I chose to ask for facts. I chose for solid evidence. So I'm the bad guy. But it's fine, though. It's fine by me. Because, again, if any of these experiences happen to me with extraterrestrials, you be sure that I'll be the first one on this YouTube channel to present it to you guys. And then I would tell you guys to meet us in person so, we can see all the good stuff in person. No, not from a distance like Howard Menger's home where he had people sitting at his home, but then all those, the little alien gimmicks in the background, so they can, fool the people, and of course people believed. No, not me. That's not the approach that I would go. My approach is to show you guys the story, go to the root of the story, and reveal to you whether I believe it's true or not. You don't have to believe me. All I'm saying is just hear me. That's all. I'm not here to gain followers, you know. Here's a cult, you know, hey, you got the Heaven's Gate, and, you know, no, nothing like that. Nothing of that nature. My thing is, again, using this platform in a positive way so that I be able to communicate with those of you out there that are of like minds, open-minded to the possibility, okay, that people who bring out cases of UFO and alien phenomenon, which they say they experience in their lives, but yet have no solid evidence, I say that we're the open-minded people to come and correct, you know, things. And we talk about it. And that's why I say, for those of you out there that dislike my videos, because I saw quite a lot of people disliking my videos, and that's fine. You have a right to dislike or like my videos, that's fine. But all I'm asking is, for those of you who are out there disliking my videos, can you explain exactly why do you feel that what I'm saying is incorrect? That's all I want to know. Because, you know, in my opinion, of course, I don't feel that what I'm doing is wrong. If I'm asking a question to these individuals, right, men or women, who come up and present themselves and say that they had contacts with extraterrestrials not of this planet, or those who have been abducted, men and women, okay, that have been abducted. I don't know. It's your choice, guys. But again, I do ask that, you know, for people to come forth and, you know, be direct with me. Tell me what you feel. If you feel I'm full of it, that's fine. You can say it. But I'm also asking that you guys respect me, because I respect all of you. All I'm doing here is just voicing my opinion and hoping that I could come across to those who are willing to listen about an opinion that, if one day you do happen to go to one of those people's lectures that are out there promoting the UFO alien phenomenon and saying that they had such experiences, all I'm saying is question them. That's all. Question them. You have a right, right? So if you paid to get into that lecture that cost you an arm and a leg, why not ask them that question? Where's their proof? Where's their solid evidence? But like I said, it's either they like you or they don't like you. You know, everything's always gonna be that way on this planet. And that's how it always been for hundreds of years now, I guess, right? Yeah, but then again, who knows, right, guys? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a government agent, as people think out there, right? I'm here on this platform just to throw you guys off. Because, of course, that's what people think now, right? Now, all of a sudden, I'm a government agent, which I'm not. I've never been part of of any government whatsoever. So I don't understand why people would think, you know, in their mind that, oh, here's this guy who he's trying to throw off these stories and say they're hoaxes because he's part of the government. No, I am not. I am a U.S. citizen, okay? If that makes you feel better. And I've never been part of any government structure, you know. So, I mean, I would hope that none of you guys continue with the I'm part of the Illuminati or whatever, you know, stuff that you guys keep saying out there. I'm not part of any of that. I'm just a normal human being living just like you guys are living. The only difference is I'm not living off of you guys by saying, oh, why don't you go pay my book? You know what I'm saying? Buy my book so I can get paid. Buy my book so I can make a living off you. That's all those guys out there are doing. I'm not doing that. I'm just using this platform to give you guys what I feel to be true, okay? This is why I always say I'm back again with some more facts. So when you hear me say that, clearly I'm talking what I believe to be facts, okay? I'm not saying that everything I'm saying is 100% fact. What I'm saying is that we should all together question these individuals that make those claims of being contactees or had abduction was abducted years ago, what have you, whatever. And all I'm saying is watch out for these other YouTube channels that have they're trying to deceive you by using these methods, age-old methods, by the way. But now that we got computers, it's now easier to deceive you, where they're showing you aliens and, you know, the gray-looking beings moving and all that stuff, and eyes, and then you got spaceships moving around, disappearing. You got these time traveler fake stuff. That's all I'm saying, guys. You got to watch out for these people that are good computer technicians. That's why they get a lot of views on their channels, because they're showing you stuff that's not real. They made it up. Now, if you don't see an object face to face, moving at high altitudes, and just moving like in ways that no plane has ever done, obviously, or helicopter, you can hear helicopters for that, right? Then you can make your claims. I'm just saying, watch out. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of people out there that still, despite, okay, of debunks, bear in mind what I'm saying, even though that these stories have been debunked, many of them, people are out there still promoting it as facts, okay? Like the Valiant Thor story, like I said, okay? Now, I don't think I'm the first person to show you guys that Frank Ernest Strange's was Valiant Thor himself. I don't think I am, but, you know, if I am, oh well. I just happened to get first-hand knowledge that was Frank, you know? And people can doubt me if they want. I don't care, you know? I just know that what I present to you is facts. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys a bunch of bullcrap, because I'm not getting anything from this. As you guys can see, I'm speaking direct to you guys for free. I'm not asking you guys to pay me or buy books, right? So again, I just say watch out, guys. And on another note, I wish to thank those of you who subscribe to my channel. I say thank you. Thank you, YouTube, because you gave me this opportunity to use this platform to get to like-minded people like myself. You know, other people that are open-minded about certain things. Thank you for those who dislike my videos. Thank you anyways, you know. I'm just asking that you at least describe to me why you dislike my video. Hey, you're probably helping me out, you know. Some people may not like the way I approach these videos, the way I talk. Now, in what manner would you like me to talk? Because obviously I'm speaking in the way that I always speak. I don't need to use sophisticated words just to get through you, right? I can just speak plain English like I'm doing now, and you guys can clearly understand what I'm saying. So I don't need to use the sophisticated words. We're all grown people here, are we? Like I said, I'm 43 years old, right? I'm not a young kid. I went to school just like everyone else went to school. So again, I say thank you. And all I can say is, for anyone that got a story out there that they know about that they would like me to look into also, feel free to present it to me. Because I don't mind looking into any of these stories at all. I really don't. You know, because, again, I'm a seeker. I look into everything, even religion. At some point when I studied the Bible, because, of course, when I mention the name Yahweh, a lot of people may understand, they might not. But there's a whole lot to a whole lot of everything. But what I'm saying is true? I don't know. You decide whether what I'm saying is true or not. But I know I'm not making anything up, obviously, because I'm telling you what I believe. My opinion, you know. I'm not telling you to come with me because there's a spaceship coming to pick us up. I ain't saying none of that stuff. I'm not telling you guys that I had an experience with an alien that came down, but yet I'm going to show you a sketch instead of just show you the person, right? I'm not doing that. I'm not telling you to buy anything from me. I'm just telling you to just have an open mind about what the things that I'm talking about. That's all, people. That's all. And for those that are out there continually pushing all those stories as fact, all I can say, guys, out there, again, present solid evidence. If you're going to support all those stories that are out there, show evidence. If you don't show evidence, then just tell the people that the story is not accurate. It's not true. So simple. Why are you worried about your pockets? That's all I got to say. You know, it's more plain and simple. Why don't you just help out people instead of just try to take? Well, again, guys, see you in my next video. And, I hope that you guys understood. If not, that's fine. I have no hatred towards anyone. I'm just saying have an open mind when you hear me talk the way I talk, because, I'm just showing you something that many don't see. That's why in one of my videos I said, do you see what I see? When I brought the Betty and Barney story, right? I didn't stay on it much longer because why should I? Which it was something which you open it and close it right away. It wasn't like the Valiant Thor story, which lasted a little longer because I had to step by step show everyone how I concluded that it was Frank Ernest Strange's. That was Valiant Thor. And to show people also that the Phil Snyder Valiant Thor was a hoax. Obviously. But hey, people could believe it. That's fine. They want to continue believing, that's fine. But I know it's not real. So until the next video, guys, I say peace. And once again, thanks for taking the time for you taking your time to listen to this video. I know it might not be perfect. But see you guys then. Until the next video.